Well, today I'll be discussing on 10 people that you must avoid when it comes to lending your money. We have all been in this situation whereby someone will ask for money from you. Maybe your colleague, could be your friend, could be a family member. Today I want to share 10 people that you should always avoid when it comes to lending. So get along with me as I start. Number 1. Chronic borrowers. We've all had these chronic borrowers in history. So their character number 1 is they constantly ask for small loans here and there. This is what they actually do, and they claim to repay them soon. Someone will come to you, tell you that, oh, give me this amount, maybe it could be a colleague at work or even your friend. Give me this small amount, I'll repay them as soon as possible. But they never pay that money back. They have so many excuses not to have paid that money. Their life often rely on borrowing as a way of life and rarely follow through repayment promises. They'll give you these lame excuses to not have paid you, but they end up telling you they will repay you back. So that's a life they have chosen, not to be paying other people's money. So you have to be so keen when it comes to these chronic borrowers. People number 2 not to loan money or give or lend your money is people who always have no repayment plan, or people without repayment plan. Assuming I come today to you and I tell you, give me 100,000, I'll repay you back when I can. Most definitely this is how they say, I'll pay you back when I can. So it has no time. It hasn't considered when they will do the repayment of that amount. So you are just giving it out, and you actually don't know when they'll pay you back. So if you don't consider that, you are not sure of when they will pay you. So most definitely all of them, they can't specify when to pay this money back, and that will actually lead into problem when it comes to you getting your money back. So have a clear repayment plan. Just as you want to give them your money, have a clear plan on how they will do the repayment. Most definitely, you have to always have this assurance that you are getting your money. That will actually be able to put you on a safer side. Why? Because at the end, if they don't go ahead to have assurance that you are getting your money after specified time of period, then most definitely it will lead to financially strain as well as relationship straining when it comes to between you two people. Assuming it's your family member, or it's your friend, or it is your colleague at work, and he hasn't paid you amount that you had given to him. Now what comes into place is that enmity will start arising, as well as straining in terms of building up that relationship when it comes to two of you. So you need to consider a repayment plan before you enter into giving out your money. It's very, very important. People number 3 not to give your money or lend your money is people who have financial irresponsible when it comes to handling their money, or money that you can actually give it to them. So why should you not give your money to financially responsible individuals? This is why. In history, you'll find that their history actually, it consists of gambling with that money, or even making poor decisions when it comes to spending on luxurious things despite being on debt. So I must definitely look at that person's history on how they spend money with. You look at it when it comes to they gamble with that money, they actually make very poor decisions when it comes to money that they have, and they'll even go ahead to spend on luxurious things that benefits their interest, but they don't think on how they'll actually repay that money that you have given to them, but instead they'll just do all those things that doesn't even associate on how they'll pay that money back to you. So you always have to be very, very keen when it comes to this kind of people. Now what they do actually, because of their nature of not paying back, they actually will not pay this money back to you. Why? Because their track record shows they are unlikely to prioritize repaying you, and they may continue to make poor financial decisions with your money. Very true. So you have to be so keen when you have this kind of people whenever they want money from you. People number 4 not to loan your money is actually close friends or family without formal agreements. Very true. So if you have a friend of yours who is very, very close, what happens when you give him or her money? I'm assuming in this case it's a loan that he or he has to repay you back. So without you being so strict when it comes to formal agreement, then something will happen, as I'm sharing. Now, like for siblings who will insist that you don't need actually formal kind of agreement thing when it comes to when you're giving out that money. He always tell you because he's a friend or because he's a sibling, maybe in this case if it's a family member, you don't need this formal kind of agreement in terms of you signing maybe somewhere or just agreed verbally, so that now it's just obvious he or she will repay you back. But does it happen always? No. This is how. Without a clear term or a clear term on how you'll get this money, it brings all about misunderstanding that can arise, leading to strain, relationship, and resentment. So it's very, very common issue here, because it comes a time even you'll find some family members have just cut ties because of 1,000. Number 4 category of people to avoid lending money to are actually people with unstable income. They don't have that stability when it comes to how they get their money. Maybe, for example, if someone is a friend, maybe you have a friend who is a freelancer and he doesn't have a stable kind of consistent income that comes regularly. So it will be so hard for that person to get this money and pay you on time, because there is inconsistency in terms of paying you, and this is derived from his or her salary. So there's no stability in that case. Now you'll find that lack of steady income will actually lead to struggle to pay your loan on time, and even for some people it goes ahead to be defaulted. So it will bring some conflict between you who has just given your money, and by that I mean it will go to relationship straining. So up to this point things will go south. Number 6 category of people who you should not lend your money. These are people in legal or financial trouble. Why? Because they'll actually ask money from you to cover debt from multiple creditors. So you'll get this people or this person, maybe could be a friend, could be a family member, has several debts, and he or he is borrowing money from you so that now he can go ahead to do what? To pay these multiple creditors. So most definitely this is what happens. The existing financial and legal issues, they are clearly indicating that there is a high risk when it comes to your money getting paid, and this money might end up being caught with those problems that this person has. So what actually ends up clearly is that there's no clear resolution on how this person will pay you this money. Why? Because he's just in that circle. He will again go to someone else and ask for the same thing. Help me with this money. I'm going to pay. Now you, in this case, you've given this money to him. Now the same continues. The loop continues. Category number 7 of people you should avoid when it comes to lending your money. These are people who avoid paying back others. You've heard me right. Someone who will always find excuses why they have borrowed but they haven't paid those people, or they haven't paid their loan that they have with other people. So you'll always find them, they borrow, but they always find excuses on how to delay repayments. So these people, this is their most tactic. They will always have excuses. Oh, I borrowed this money, I don't know. They have so million excuses why they haven't paid. Even they'll claim about the weather. The weather today is so sunny, I didn't manage to walk and have you paid your money. So their reputation for avoiding repayments to others suggests they won't treat your loan any different. That's very right. Your loan will never be considered as different, regardless of what the situation they have. Category number 8 of individuals you should never consider lending money. These are emotionally manipulative individuals. Why? These are people who will actually come to you with the emotions, how the situation is to their sides, how it doesn't favor them, and you will actually get yourself into that trap. They'll use guilt or emotional pressures to get you to lend them money. But in that case, you will be clouded with that emotion and you can go ahead to lend them. They will actually say like this: if you really cared about me, you would help me out. This is the most common phrase they actually use. So you'll get that emotional manipulation can cloud your judgment when it comes to that period that you want to give them your money, and with such individual, they may not have even that ability to pay you back that money, and some circumstance they don't even have the intention to pay this money back. So when it comes to emotions and manipulative individuals, you have to be so sincere when it comes to how the situation is. You can always assess, evaluate, and know whether it's so genuine. So when you give out the money, then you know on what you are giving out that money for, as to not to go ahead and start regretting on why you gave out that money. Yeah. Category number 9 of people you should never consider lending your money. These are people with no collateral or security. I've been in lending sector or industry for above 22 years, and I can actually tell you this. So if someone needs a significant amount from you, but he or she doesn't have a security as a way of you securing that amount later, if everything goes south, if the agreement, kind of formal agreement where you had signed that he or she is not able to repay this money back, then you'll have to take this in order for you to secure that loan. So if someone needs a significant amount of money, then you must actually have to go in a way of having a security to offer, just in case he or she doesn't repay this money back. You will be able to do what? To secure that amount. So when you do this, you are actually lowering the risk of that money getting paid. So no way you can secure this loan whenever you don't have a security or a collateral against that amount that you are giving out. So as this will increase the risk of losing your money. If you don't have a security or a collateral form as a one way or other on how to secure that amount that you are giving out, then you are increasing the risk of losing that amount. So consider a collateral or security when it comes to giving out a significant amount, as this will help you in securing that loan when it comes to not being repaid. Category number 9 of people who you should actually avoid lending money to are people who refuse to discuss terms and conditions of your loan or of your money. So if someone doesn't or becomes defensive or evasive when it comes to discussing about interest or repayment plan, he or she doesn't want to go into that kind of talk or being so evasive and defensive. So number one, you should know that that person will actually give you future disputes of not paying that amount. Why? Because he lacks seriousness in him when it comes to this money. So what he increases is the likelihood of not paying and future disputes. So that was Mr. Barasa. If you've learned something, kindly consider liking and subscribing, and let me know what you've liked most down in the comment, as I'll be appreciating on your time. So see you next in the next video, and I'll be there to share something small with you. Of course, it's all about money. Yes.